Yeah, I know it's difficult to put something like this together, guys, but we're gonna give it our best go. We work together on these, okay? We're all in this together. I can't. Oh, God, it's time. You know, I've garnered some level of respect, maybe, you know, in talking about movies for years now on this channel. I like to think that with one or two people out there, my opinion on films holds some weight. Everyone has their guilty pleasures, guys. I love High School Musical. And I love High School Musical 2. High School Musical 3 also exists. Look, they're trash. They're trash, but everyone that had Disney Channel as a child watched some trashy original Disney Channel movies and was like, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. And some of them are well known, like this. They're still pretty well known, if not really well regarded these days. And there's some that you totally, 99% of people out there aren't going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like Eddie's $1 Million Bake Off. Classic. And so many of them were garbage. High School Musical's garbage. It's angsty teen garbage. It's ultimate, you know, Gabriela Montez. No one in history, no one in Riverdale has ever been able to be as angsty as Gabriela Montez when she starts singing. So, anyway, today we're going to give it a go. And it's difficult because a lot of young, great talent who would be great for these roles are currently starring in High School Musical, the musical series. And I'm not just going to say Olivia Rodrigo could play Gabriela Montez. Everyone knows she could. I don't know the guy that well, Joshua Bassett. Don't know if he'd be that well suited for Troy. Maybe. Probably could do. Zac Efron's not tall, guys. Troy Bolton, let's talk about this. Let's get into this, okay? We're not going to cast people from this series. That's what you need to know. And we're also going to try not to cast people who are like 30. Because when I look on the internet sometimes at fan casts for this sort of thing, there's people who are casting it like last year, and they're casting like 35-year-olds in some of these roles. And I'm going, it's not, no, don't do that. So, Zac Efron was Troy Bolton. He's 5'8". Basketball player. Mega King basketball player. 5'8". Doesn't matter. Not important. I thought, since I'm not going to be stealing from High School Musical, the musical, the series, God, HSM, the TM, TS, doesn't matter. I would just steal from another popular, current, teenage, musical-related show, like Julie and the Phantoms, and I'm going to cast Owen Joyner as Troy Bolton. Why? He looks the part. I think he's taller than Zac Efron, which is helpful for playing a basketball player, surprisingly enough. And he's a great singer. He's a great singer. And the way he was singing in that show, I kind of thought like, hey, that could happen. That could work. And Troy was one of the harder roles to cast, believe it or not. I looked through a lot of people, and a lot of guys this kind of age, because Owen Joyner's what, like 20, which is perfectly acceptable age. You don't really want to go older than like 25 for most of these roles if you can help it. But there were a lot of people there that couldn't sing, and there were a lot of people there who I thought, they wouldn't come off like jockey enough. Troy is a jockey guy. He's just very jockey. And it's difficult to find someone who fits that traditional sort of role these days. But I think Owen Joyner would be fantastic at it. And I still don't know if Julie and the Phantoms is renewed yet. They still haven't, really? Come on. Moving on. Gabriela Montez is another difficult role to cast, and I had a couple of ideas, and then I settled on one because I realized something very important. Gabrielle, she is angsty, but she's also so kind. It's so confusing. All of her songs, all of her solo songs throughout this series are super, I gotta go my own way. And when there was me and you, like, Jesus, woman, you're like 12. Relax. But point is, she's a lovable character. She was always like doing those oh Troy moments, and we don't need that. We don't need that in a redone version of this character, if you ask me. You know, I'm just gonna put that out there. And I would prefer it if we just cast Isabela Merced. No, she started some shit. She was Dora the Explorer in live action. Oh yeah, that was her. And she just appeared in Sweet Girl. Yeah, I didn't like Sweet Girl. But there are plenty of great things out there she has been in. Instant Family comes to mind as one of the early things I saw her in. I thought she was phenomenal. And she's just so lovable in that role, even though she is much more teenagey and kind of about stuff than Gabriella ever is. She just goes full on like, And then, like, that 10 minutes each film, she would be like, ah! About her feelings and shit in the song. Not like that, Vanessa Hudgens is a beautiful singer. Anyway, Isabela Merced is great. She sang that song for Instant Family. I don't know if you've heard it, look it up. It is a phenomenal song. She is an amazing singer. I had a couple of other people in mind, and then I remembered she did that song. She can actually sing really well. And I think she would, and the roles she's played would bring about a much more... much more of a character for Gabrielle. I love Vanessa Hudgens. I love Gabrielle. I love High School Musical. Gabrielle's character was that she's smart and also sings really well. And is also such a smiley, perfect, wonderful person. And also looks fucking sick in a summer dress. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Sharpay Evans. Hard role to cast. It's a hard role to cast. There are people out there who I feel like could pull off that. I mean, Ashley Tisdale, she was like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She was the sweet Maddie, the happy smiley girl. And then she did this. But there are certain people out there, you can just imagine playing a role like that really extra sort of very good singer, but really a lot and quite villainous along the way. I want to cast Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter... how to put this the right way? I mean, obviously, I'm saying that I think she could play a bitch really well, but like, that's down to just. I think it's a really fun role to play with a lot. I think Ashley Tisdale always had a lot of fun with that role. It's very silly in a lot of ways, but Sabrina Carpenter's style of singing. That's partly what it's down to. Because I remember watching her in Clouds, and her and Finn Argus in Clouds, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a phenomenal film. And the songs they're singing, obviously, aren't written by them. They were real songs written by the real people that the film is based on. But them singing them together, I thought they were so good. And then I went and listened to other Sabrina Carpenter songs, thinking, my gosh, I love her as a singer. I think I'd love to listen to more of her stuff. And I didn't like it much. I didn't like a lot of her other music. It's too much in a style that I don't love. And I feel like that extra sort of style that she adds into that would be what Sharpay would do. Does that sound horrible? Doesn't matter. Moving on. And then Ryan, her brother, Ryan Evans, another non-character in a lot of ways. He's there for comedic effect. He's there to act, I mean, gayer than Disney Channel original films would allow a lot of their characters to act. He's there to rocket baseball, prove that he can actually do sports. See, that's really ignored in the second film, the fact that he's actually good at sports. Like, they were all like in the first film, stick to your own lane. But he was good at sports that whole time. Don't do it. Don't question High School Musical films. Don't do it. So, Ryan, I want Finn Argus to play him. Guess what? No, I haven't seen as much of Finn Argus singing outside of Clouds. And obviously his role in Clouds and Sabrina Carpenter's role in Clouds, neither of them were playing anything like Sharpay and Ryan Evans. They were great together. They were an incredible duo. And that's what set my thinking off. As soon as I thought of Sabrina Carpenter, I thought, wait, Finn Argus. I know that people out there complain a lot, and I've had arguments about this in the past, about whether you should cast gay actors as gay characters and so on and so forth. And I don't think you should 100% stick to a role like that. I think it's insane. And I think it brings up the question from the other side, should you only cast straight people in straight roles? And obviously, I'm all for representation and all of that. I don't know if Finn Argus is gay. There was something that came out that said he was. I don't care, though. I think he'd be phenomenal for this role. I don't believe Ryan was ever even confirmed as gay. It is obviously just a character who was treated as a flamboyant theatre kid in a time when that meant definitely that they intended for him to be. But it doesn't matter. I think Finn Argus and Sabrina Carpenter would be amazing together. I think playing these big extra roles would be something really fun and different for them, and they get to work together again. I think it's phenomenal in a lot of ways. And I do think this would really help the music. Them two haven't worked together so much before in songs. I think they could really do some amazing stuff for this. Unless they're just singing the same songs in a remake. I mean, it's not going to happen. Doesn't matter. Chad Danforth. Another tricky role, you know. It's difficult. Gordon Blue. He went on to do, like, Jump In. Was that what it was called? Jump In, the Disney Channel original film starring Corbin Bleu, where he He did Double Dutch. There was another film about him not wanting to try something new. What? Doesn't matter. I want to cast Caleb McLaughlin for this. Really? God, throwing in Stranger Things kid. Feels weird, doesn't it? They're at that age now. Caleb McLaughlin, I think, is 19 now. So he's the same age as I'm casting a lot of these other roles. No, yeah. I don't think Corbin Bleu was like 19 when he played this role. You look at them together, it looks silly, right? He still looks so much older. But Caleb McLaughlin, I think, is fairly tall now, so he can pull off the basketball player. He, before he even was in Stranger Things, became famous on Broadway, doing these concerts where he was singing I saw him on YouTube singing all these like Lion King songs and stuff, and he rocked it. He's an amazing singer. I had no idea, but that makes me confident that if they were to give Chad more of a singing role, he could do it. And also, I think he's starting like out in like a rap career now. I heard something about that. And that'd be an interesting thing to throw into these films. Something more like that. It'd just be a bit different. These films really were... I mean, there were multiple types of songs, but it was all the one type of song, really. Right? It doesn't matter. Taylor McKessie. I was about to say Monique Coleman, because that's who played her originally. But Taylor was the least relevant of the relevant characters. Yeah. They always talk about it being these 6 characters. They were the main, like, teenage characters throughout the series. Taylor, though, I mean... Does she sing in the first one? She sings in the second because they all 6 of them sing together for the Work It Out song. Does she sing in the first one? Doesn't matter. The point is, if they wanted her to, they should get somebody like Sky Jackson. Yes, the Jessie star, the Jessie kid. She was phenomenal in Jessie. I'm pretty sure she could sing. Doesn't matter though. Taylor was never called on for it. She's an irrelevant character. They need to make more of that character. Like that's the thing. Like what's wrong with doing more of a proper secondary love story for Chad and Taylor? Have a song for them in there as well. The film was short originally. There's a lot you can expound upon. Like, there's a lot more to do that doesn't matter. None of this matters. It couldn't matter less. It's a thought. You know, I'd really like to see some sort of song. I think Caleb McLaughlin, Sky Jackson, they'd be good together. I think they could sing something really cool together. It's all guesswork unless you're actually casting some people who've sung together before, like Sabrina Carpenter and Finn Argus, but I think they would do well together. Then, after you cast those 6, you could go on and cast more of the irrelevant teenager roles, but I won't. Yeah. But, outside of them, there's obviously Mrs. Darbus. Mrs. Darbus. A classic role, really. And the kind of role that I'd like to see Lisa Kudrow do. Yeah. Lisa Kudrow has fallen into a weird typecasting. See, Phoebe in Friends was always a weird role. She was the kooky, wildcard, strange character. And somehow they've managed to typecast her in those roles for a whole, like, near 20 years since it finished. That's a weird career she's made out of that. And also a lot of teachery roles. And, like, college dean roles. And I feel like I see her in a lot of those. It's weird. Anyway, I want to cast her because Darbus is an extra role. She's real extra. And most of the roles Lisa Kudrow gets cast in are real extra. And I do think she's around the right kind of age now. It's weird that the Friends actors are around that kind of age now. Oh. But it's true. And finally, you need Coach Bolton. Coach Bolton is just, I mean... he's got so many great lines, you know? Playmaker. What the hell are those two doing in a tree? He's got so many great lines, man. I love him. Darbus too, she's got great lines as well, but she's all like, the theatre. Bolton's just hilarious. He's just such a stereotypical, like, you want more than just basketball type of role that I love him. I just love him. He's fantastic, and he's so confused the whole film. And then that's the ultimate moment, right? That's the ultimate moment, right at the end of High School Musical, when they're singing the song, and he walks in, and they're all cheering and looking, and everyone's standing up, and they're going, "Oh, we're breaking free!" And he just goes like this. He doesn't like go up to him after and go like, "I'm so sorry, Troy." He just goes like, leans against something, and you're like, yes, it's the approval I never got from my father for doing YouTube. Anyway, I want to cast John Cena because he's the ultimate meme. John Cena, he's the ultimate meme. Back when he started his acting career, like the Marine in WWE Studios films, it was bad. It was not a good time. It was not a good time, no. And since then, He's become an ultimate meme. You see the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker in that. You see him even in Playing with Fire, where he's a big lead, or God, anything, Blockers, any role he's been in basically for the last like 5-6 years since he's gotten bigger in acting. Not the Fast and Furious one so much, but everything apart from that, he's just felt like an ultimate meme. Coach Bolton is great for that, and he is around the right age, and he does start looking now like a proper sporty dad. Yeah, he's gotten that look now. And he'd be funny as hell. God, can you imagine if they actually got him for a role like that? Oh, he'd be so funny. He'd actually somehow manage to improve upon that hilarious, memey, simple role. It'd be great. This whole cast would be great. It feels inspired, you know? It's never going to happen. Doesn't matter. And that is all for this one, folks. Gosh, it's difficult. It's difficult doing these sometimes. This one was actually not easy, but it just came together neatly. It feels like it really did. You guys have left already a bunch of ideas for more fan casts in community posts and stuff. You can go leave more there if you want. And if you get a membership, you can vote every week on what you want the fan cast to be. That's right. Goddamn. Huge, right? Subscribe as well, though. Get a membership, but like subscribe mostly.